But I just want to say this again. The nominee for FBI director taking $25,000 for a pro-Kremlin anti-FBI smear campaign, a film made by a guy who has made propaganda for the Kremlin. That's kind of been his whole job in life. It seems like the kind of story that should maybe break through. And I know it's been kind of, Kremlin Christmas this week, right? I mean, the news from the New York Times this week that the new Trump administration, in its infinite wisdom, sent a huge list of personal identifying information of CIA personnel in an unclassified, unencrypted email. The news that CIA personnel and people who work at the Office of Director of National Intelligence are now among the government employees who have been invited to resign or else. An effort that has been temporarily halted by a federal judge, but it may be back in effect as soon as next week. Can you imagine how excited our foreign adversaries are at the idea of a wholesale purge of all the experienced people in U.S. intelligence and counterintelligence? That said, I'm not sure how they narrow down what to be happiest about. Trump's new CIA chief, John Ratcliffe, distinguished himself when he had his last big job, when he was director of national intelligence in Trump's first term. In 2020, he released a batch of what he initially conceded might be Russian disinformation that he apparently nevertheless hoped might help Trump in the 2020 election. That's how he distinguished himself in 2020, leading to calls for his resignation at the time, but now he's CIA director. Trump's nominee for intelligence director this term has also been a phenomenal customer for notorious Russian disinformation. She, for example, put a megaphone on Russian false claims that the U.S. had secret bioweapons sites in Ukraine, and that's the only reason we didn't want Mother Russia to invade. Vladimir Putin ordered USAID out of his country more than a decade ago and has since spent years spreading lies and conspiracy theories about USAID to try to discredit it, to try to kill it, including weird and totally made-up claims that aired on Russian state TV recently that said USAID funds had been spent to send American celebrities on international junkets. These are totally false claims that came from Russian state TV that this past week were promoted online by Donald Trump Jr. and Trump campaign donor Elon Musk, who did apparently this week dismantle USAID. You may remember that Elon Musk himself was reportedly unable to get a higher security clearance that he was seeking just this past year, in part because of his ongoing and frequent communications with Vladimir Putin and other Kremlin officials, and his refusal to explain his international contacts and travel to the people who at least used to make decisions about security clearances in this country. Among the government databases and computer systems that Musk and his team have now accessed, that Office of Personnel Management system, the first one they got into, that's considered such a rich target for our foreign adversaries that it has repeatedly been targeted by foreign intelligence services trying to hack into it. Well, now Elon Musk and his band of interns is in there. That should make it easier. The Treasury payment system that Musk has taken over, among other things, that includes details of secret payments made to foreign assets who are being run abroad by U.S. intelligence. It includes details on payments made to U.S. businesses abroad that have secret contracts with our intelligence services. In other words, that payment system at the U.S. Treasury, among all the other things it contains information that the Kremlin and our other intelligence adversaries would absolutely saw off their arm for. But now Elon Musk is in there, fresh off of not being able to get a security clearance because he wouldn't come clean about how much contact he has with the Kremlin and what he talks to them about. It has been Kremlin Christmas for going on 3 weeks now, thus far in the new Trump term. But senators next week, Thursday next week, will have the chance to decide if they want to put someone in charge of the FBI who literally took $25,000 to participate in a propaganda film attacking the FBI made by somebody who makes propaganda for the Kremlin. This one, I don't know, seems like kind of a different kind of red line. I don't know. Watch this space.